The FCC plans to restore Obama-era net neutrality rules. LinkedIn adds accessibility features with the help of Microsoft's immersive reader. And Ford halts construction of the Michigan EV battery factory as strikes continue. It's Wednesday, September 27th, and this is Engadget Today, the latest tech news with a touch of tranquility with your morning coffee. Let's start with the FCC. The Federal Communications Commission plans to reinstate net neutrality protections that were nixed in 2018 during the Trump administration. Restoring those Obama-era rules has been on President Joe Biden's agenda for years, but a deadlocked FCC has prevented that from happening during his time in the White House so far. Now, one day after Ana Gomez was sworn in as the third Democratic member on the FCC's five-person panel, the agency is pushing forward with an attempt to bring back net neutrality regulations. When net neutrality rules are enforced, Internet service providers are not allowed to block or give preference to any content. They can't throttle access to specific websites or charge the likes of streaming services for faster service. They must provide users with access to every site, content, and app at the same speeds and conditions. Advocates tout net neutrality protections as the foundation of an open and equitable Internet. FCC Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel, a long-term supporter of net neutrality rules, announced a plan to restore the protections on Tuesday. The aim is to largely return to the successful rules that the FCC adopted in 2015, when President Barack Obama was in office. The proposal aims to reclassify both fixed and mobile broadband as an essential communication service under Title II of the Communications Act, akin to water, power, and phone services. The FCC commissioners will vote on the notice of proposed rulemaking at their next monthly meeting on October 19th. Now let's change lanes to Ford. On Monday, Ford said that it was suspending construction of a Michigan battery factory for electric vehicles. The automaker didn't specify its exact reasons for the shutdown as United Auto Workers strikes continue. However, it stated, via the New York Times, that it was pausing work and limiting spending on construction on the Marshall project until we're confident about our ability to competitively operate the plant. The factory was established earlier this year to produce battery tech licensed from China's contemporary Amperex technology company. It isn't yet clear if the suspension is temporary or permanent. The news came ahead of President Biden's trip to Michigan on Tuesday to protest alongside picketing workers. Ford didn't state whether its decision was related to the strikes. The UAW's walkout against the big three automakers expanded to 38 locations in 20 states last week. The $3.5 billion factory, scheduled to open in 2026, is slated to produce lithium iron phosphate batteries for EVs, supplying jobs for at least 2,500 auto workers and spurring domestic EV battery production. However, the project has been flanked by uncertainty as the Biden administration weighs regulations that could prevent U.S. companies from working with select Chinese businesses. And finally, LinkedIn's accessibility update. LinkedIn is making its platform more accessible by integrating Microsoft's immersive reader. The service says that in honor of Dyslexia Awareness Month and National Disability Employment Awareness Month, it's providing users with more ways to digest articles and newsletters. That seems particularly useful at a time when LinkedIn has been embracing longer-form content. Every article and newsletter will feature the immersive reader icon, which provides access to several accessibility tools. A text-to-speech function can read articles out loud. LinkedIn says that distinguishing between words that are spelled the same but pronounced differently makes it easier for auditory learners and those with visual impairments to consume and process content. The tool supports more than 60 languages. On a similar note, Immersive Reader powers real-time translation for more than 100 languages. Other features include one called Content Isolation. This separates the main text of an article or newsletter from everything else that's on the screen to help people focus on reading. Immersive Reader is able to isolate a line or two at a time as well. It also supports a feature called syllable splitting. According to LinkedIn, this breaks more complex words down into smaller components to help users understand and pronounce them. Immersive Reader has been making its way into several Microsoft products and services over the last few years. It's been available in Office and Minecraft Education Edition for some time. Bringing the tool to LinkedIn should make the platform easier to use for folks with dyslexia and other conditions. Thanks for listening. To stay in the know and in the flow, rate and subscribe wherever you listen. Today's show featured journalism by Engadget contributors Chris Holt and Will Shanklin and was produced by Spoken Layer. And you can listen to the future later today on Engadget tomorrow.